So now we'll quickly move into the next talk. We have the Managing Director from Nestle here, Suresh, who is actually going to talk to us and give his keynote. In fact, if you know, Nestle's tagline is creating shared value. Or the motto or the vision is actually creating shared value. So this is an enterprise which has actually lived, breathed this whole idea for at least about, I think, since its inception, and that's the whole ethos of this organization. Suresh, over to you, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a pleasure to be here today, and for a change, talking about a topic that has not been my refrain for the last couple of months that I have been in India. First of all, I would like to thank the Shared Value Initiative India for inviting me to speak. It gives me great pleasure to be part of this forum and share with you Nestle's way of creating shared value. Nestle, as some of you might be aware, was founded 150 years ago. In fact, next year we'll be celebrating 150 years of our existence, and has been built on the legacy of creating shared value since the time of our founder, Henri Nestle, inventing farine lacti to save the life of a neighbor's child. In India, our relationship goes back more than 100 years, and from the very beginning, we have based our business practices on the principles of creating shared value. For us at Nestle, creating shared value is based on the understanding that business and long-term social benefits go hand in hand. Any business that thinks long-term and follows sound business principles creates value for society and shareholders through its activities, such as creating livelihood, working with suppliers, contributing to the economy, etc. But it just doesn't stop there. As a global leader, we believe it is not only our duty to operate responsibly, but it is also an opportunity to create long-term positive value for society. We call this creating shared value and embed it firmly in all parts of our business. For us, creating shared value sits firmly atop a strong compliance culture, coupled with providing safe and high-quality products and commitment to sustainability. This includes compliance with local laws, business principles, codes of conduct, and ensuring the protection of natural resources for future use. Creating shared value indeed goes beyond compliance and sustainability, amongst aiming to create new and greater value for society as also for our shareholders. At Nestle, we have analyzed our value chain and determined that the areas of greatest potential for joint value creation with society are nutrition, water, and rural development. These activities are core to our business strategy and vital to the welfare of the people in the communities where we operate. We actively seek engagement and partnerships with stakeholders to enhance positive impact in these areas of focus while managing our commitments to environmental and social sustainability, necessary for the sustainable growth and development of the communities in which we operate. We are a nutrition, health, and wellness company, so let me start with nutrition. Nutrition, health, and wellness is at the core of our corporate strategy. We are committed to improving people's quality of life at every stage through science-based innovation and are continuously investing in R&D. A deep understanding of nutrition and access to tastier and healthier food and beverages is what our consumers demand and what society needs. A lot of work has been accomplished in this area. About a decade and a half ago, we announced our intention to become the world's leading nutrition, health, and wellness company. And since then, globally, Nestle has invested close to 20 billion Swiss francs. That's about the equivalent of 20 billion US dollars in new nutrition businesses and initiatives, as well as embedding nutrition into our existing businesses. Globally, Nestle spends over 1.3 billion Swiss francs on research and development each year. This includes developing fortified products extensively consumed by lower-income groups around the world. To give you an example, in India, we sell Masala-e-Magic from Maggi, which is fortified with iron, iodine, and vitamin A at an affordable price of Rs 4 per pack. With a large proportion of the population suffering from the dual impact of under and overnutrition, driving behavior change towards healthier diets and lifestyles is a global challenge. We recognize that these issues involved are complex and they call for joint action to achieve sustainable results. We therefore engage in collective activities with partners and like-minded stakeholders. As a company that understands food and nutrition, we have already set in motion many initiatives which aim to achieve this with special focus on the adolescents and on maternal health. Our flagship nutrition awareness program, Nestle Healthy Kids, aims to ensure adolescents adopt appropriate nutrition and physical activity habits which are important for their development and learning abilities. The program utilizes our own expertise in science-based nutrition and leverages the knowledge available with local universities and for the benefit of communities. We have also joined hands with the Sports for Development NGO Magic Bus to impart nutrition and health education through activity-based sessions. By the end of 2015, these programs would have reached out to over 85,000 adolescents from marginalized communities. Aiming to positively impact the health of pregnant and lactating women, and in turn, the first 1,000 days of an infant's life, we have rolled out the Swasth Janani, Swasth Shishu program. This non-branded program focuses on improving health during the key stages of life by creating awareness about improved nutrition, health, well-being, and good breastfeeding practices amongst more than 100,000 beneficiaries in impoverished communities. To leverage existing policies and infrastructure, the program creates linkages to healthcare functionaries. We also engage with healthcare professionals and other stakeholders to improve the nutrition status of the community. We are scaling up these activities and finding the right opportunities to work on. I will now touch upon one of the key global imperatives for responsible management: water. Water is essential to good nutrition and food security, and responsible water management is critical to the future of our business. Nestle, and in fact the entire food industry, requires agricultural raw materials which depend on sufficient and reliable water availability. Improving the water efficiency of our complex agricultural supply chain is one of our greatest challenges. With water tables in India and across the world rapidly depleting, we are helping to facilitate the sustainable management of water catchments where we source our goods, around our factories, and where our consumers live. We have a long history of leadership on water stewardship through continuous improvement in the efficient use of water across our value chain, including our farmers in our factories and in the communities in which we operate. Directly and through collaborative action, we work with milk, coffee, rice, and sugar farmers to help them reduce their water use. We believe that we can achieve significant improvements in water use by introducing better agricultural techniques at the farm level, which do not always require significant investment. Within our factories and in areas under our control, there is a continuous effort to maximize production while minimizing the consumption of natural resources and reducing waste. To give you an example, we have embarked on a project to replace the water used in milk processing by reusing and recycling the water contained in the milk itself. Since milk is made up of about 90% water, this will lead to a considerable reduction in water extraction. We believe that effective water stewardship requires that provisions are made firstly for water to meet the human right to water, and continue to work to improve access to water and sanitation with a special focus on girls. In India alone, we have reached out to over 180,000 students in village schools with drinking water, sanitation, and water awareness initiatives. Globally, we are amongst the first signatories of the WBCSD, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development WASH Pledge, committing to providing access to safe water, sanitation, and hygiene at all our direct workplace premises within 3 years. The final platform for the CSV engagement for Nestle lies rooted in the community around rural development. Our work with farmers, combined with our responsible sourcing guidelines, helps address the need to build sustainable farming communities, traceability, and quality assurance for our consumers. We have consistently invested in developing farmers, and our strong team of agronomists and veterinarians are providing free training and technical assistance to dairy farmers, coffee farmers, and chicory farmers. Today, we touch around 200,000 farmers, out of which close to 100,000 are only milk farmers. This would mean that our extension services rank amongst the larger ones by any private company. Our focus on developing reliable supplies and good quality raw materials is a strong multiplier for rural development and is helping communities to prosper. We have special programs for women in the supply chain, and our Village Women Dairy Development Program, which creates awareness about good feeding and breeding practices for cattle and sustainable farming techniques, benefits more than 60,000 women dairy farmers. To be able to track our progress in these areas, we have set out 38 public commitments which relate to our material issues, including our work in building knowledgeable leadership in nutrition and health research, promoting healthy diets and lifestyles, implementing responsible sourcing in our supply chain, working towards water efficiency and sustainability, providing climate change leadership, eliminating child labor in key commodities, and enhancing gender balance in our workforce, among others. These commitments help us to drive continuous improvement and enable stakeholders to hold us responsible. We meet regularly with NGOs, academics, multilateral agencies, governments, and others to listen and learn from their criticisms and encouragement. In summary, I would like to emphasize that creating shared value is based upon pragmatic, sound, and long-term thinking. It is about creating sustainable shareholder value in a way that enables long-term social progress at the same time. We are deeply committed to the fundamental tenet of our business that Nestlé can only prosper if the community around it also thrives. Business sense and societal sensitivity go hand in hand, with a simple metric that illustrates our market capitalization having increased by approximately 30 times in the last 2 decades. I thank you for your interest and time, and renew the commitment that Nestlé has to the cause and impact of CSV on India and on our society. Thank you very much.
Suresh, thanks a lot. In fact, there's something very interesting that we are really trying to do at the Shared Value Initiative, which was reflected in his comments. We are actually coming out with something called the Shared Value Index, wherein we are trying to see as to the enterprises who are actually following the shared value idea and how they perform on the stock market. We are also trying to look at the idea of social progress and say as to how the whole idea of the community effect of various initiatives can actually happen. So at various levels of geography, at the level of states, cities, and districts, is what we are really looking at doing. Suresh, thanks a lot. I think this is a very interesting guiding light for us as well.